Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our December 5th, 2022 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including some of the topics we didn't get to last week because we had Philip Kennedy Johnson on as our special guest last week, and what a wonderful interview that was, and thank you again for Philip for taking the time out to chat with us last week. We're also going to be doing our monthly segments that we missed out on doing last week. We're going to be talking to you, the fans, and to let you know how you can get involved and how you can be part of the show tonight. Let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Doing well, and yourself?
It's only at times like this when you realize what a terrible job you did manscaping your facial hair this morning. Good God, it's all over the place. But other than that, I am fine. It has actually been... I have been on a high as a Superman fan for the last several weeks now, and it just keeps going. And I think I'm still kind of riding the high of the interview last week
Yes.
because we were talking off air. Philip Kennedy Johnson, just so down to earth and just approachable. Like there was no ego or anything. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great interview, and it bodes really well for what's to come in the comic books. But fans want to get involved, so how do they do that for tonight's show?
Well, it's really simple. All you do is go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button. And you'll be set into the green room. You can watch the show as it happens. There's no just waiting for us to contact you and tell you you're coming on. Or if you don't want to do that, you want to do it through your phone, you can scan the QR code that is on the screen right now. If you do use your phone to call in, please use like a headset or something or AirPods, whatever you use, because we have found that without that, there is this weird crackling noise that we just don't understand what that is.
If you're too shy to get on the show tonight, don't want to call us or be on the phone with your video camera, feel free to post comments. People are doing it right now in the YouTube comments. There's Butson, there's Mark, there's John, there's Heath, there's Farsender, there's so many others. Bradford, all joining us tonight live. We love that they've joined us for this hour of Superman talk. Feel free to post your comments there, have a chat with them, ask questions of us. Michael and I will be keeping an eye on that feed to be able to react to those as the show goes along. And if you'd like your question or your comment featured on the screen during the show, that's called a super chat. All you have to do is click the dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slider will appear. You decide on a dollar amount you're willing to donate. We will feature your question or comment live on the screen as we go to air. There's also super thanks and super stickers if you want to play with those as well. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Vandenpelt, and Tina Murray. We appreciate your support. If you'd like to join their ranks, you can simply click the join button below. There are different levels of perks for different levels of membership. So thanks to all those who are tuning in live with us tonight. J-Man, Heath, Steve, all people are just joining all the time. Love the fact that they've joined in and chatting with us tonight. And we will be covering 2 weeks worth of news items, starting with movie news. And last week we had Dwayne Johnson earlier in the week, so it's pretty old news now by our standards, talking about the fact that Warner Brothers really didn't have any plans whatsoever to bring Henry Cavill back, but he and his partners at $7 Productions weren't taking no for an answer. Here's what he had to say about that whole debacle.
Bring back the most powerful, unstoppable force of all time in any universe. And you guys know who I'm talking about. Of course, that is Superman, and that's Henry Cavill. And, at the end of the day, the studio was not bringing Henry Cavill back inexplicably and inexcusably. But we weren't going to take no for an answer. Myself, my $7 co-founder and chairwoman, Danny Garcia, Hiram Garcia, our $7 president. This has been years in the making regarding bringing Henry Cavill back, and years of strategic conversations, and we were not going to take no for an answer. And and also something else to think about is, for us, there's no viable, logical way that you can attempt to build out the DC universe without the most powerful force and the greatest superhero of all time sitting on the hot sidelines. It's impossible to do.
There you have it. There's Dwayne Johnson. I just cut it there. There was obviously a lot more of his video where he's driving into work and waving at people and saying hello and taking his seatbelt off and all that kind of stuff. But we love that he is passionate about Henry Cavill coming back as Superman. As people are saying in the comments, there's a lot of people who still don't believe that Cavill is fully back, that he hasn't signed any contract yet. But only James Gunn and Peter Safran, at the two heads of DC Films, DC Studios, whatever they're called now, truly know what's going on. But I saw that James Gunn posted another Superman image on his Twitter account, this time a Kingdom Come Superman, which had people going, oh, what does that mean? Are we getting a Kingdom Come movie? What's it all about? But it's just good to see he keeps using Superman as his images for his updates.
Yeah, it's interesting, The Rock says, how can you form the DC universe without, with Superman on the sidelines? I'm like, well, Warner Brothers and DC has been trying really hard to do that for a long time now. So you really are like pushing that boulder up the hill, which we appreciate. It came out today of the money that Black Adam lost. I think that had a lot to do with releasing that in October. Maybe a summer release would have been better, but I'm not going to second guess any of that. It's just so weird. I keep thinking it's just like, of all the people that came to our rescue, it's Dwayne Johnson, who is just so passionate about getting Superman back on the screen and getting Henry Cavill back in the costume. So it's just, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's great. If you're going to have anybody on your side, you could do worse than Dwayne Johnson. So glad that he's... nice, Mike. I'm glad that he keeps preaching the gospel of Henry Cavill as Superman. So let's hope that we get an announcement sometime soon. Possibly not. We're talking about December holiday season. It's not usually the time you want to be making big announcements, although you never know. If it's right and it's the time, go ahead. But we're just hoping they don't make big announcements while we're taking a break over the Christmas and New Year's season. We're not doing the
show. But that's when they'll do it. I mean, they're probably not going to, but if they were going to, that's when they would.
And it's not because they don't like us; it's probably just they don't know about us.
Yes. Yeah, we are not insiders, as some people claim to be.
Oh no, we can't announce it this week. Stephen and Michael are not doing the show this week. I'm sure that's first and foremost in there.
If we're ever like in the thought process of anything involving like Superman, I think that's the day we just need to give it up, because there's no peaking.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. You've made it then. So that's where things are at with the film or movie side of things. We'll wait and see what happens and keep you posted on any developments as they come to hand. But on the television side of things, we're looking forward to the third season of Superman and Lois in hopefully just over a month's time. We'll talk a bit more about premiere dates in a second, but here was a video that a couple of the cast members, including our new John Kent, Michael Bishop, Eric Valdez and Alex Garfin, did a video for Reach Child and Youth Development Society's 2022 Holiday Appeal. Self-explanatory. Let's have a look at what they had to say. Take a look. Here's the three of them having a chat about launching this Reach Child and Youth Development Society's Holiday Appeal.
Hey, I'm Eric Valdez, and I play Kyle Cushing on Superman and Lois.
I'm Alex Garfin, and I play Jordan Kent here on Superman and Lois.
I'm Michael Bishop, and I play John Kent.
And on behalf of us and everyone on our show, we are thrilled to be coming back this year to help with the Reach Child Youth Development Society's Gift-to-Speech campaign with 100 hours of speech therapy donated.
I was actually an outgoing chatterbox kid.
No.
Yeah, I was.
I don't believe you.
To this day, I'm quite quiet, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, actually, what a lot of people don't know is that as a child, I had a frontal lisp. And being a child actor was a hindrance on my life, and at times it was quite difficult. I was lucky enough to go to speech therapy and was given the tools to overcome my lisp on my own. And I know firsthand how much it can mean to overcome a speech impediment, whether it's just a little lisp or something more severe. It can help you walk the road to your dreams. So, when I found out about the Reach Child and Youth Development Gift of Speech program, I knew I wanted to be involved because they not only fund speech therapy for children, but they also give them means to communicate with their families, which I think Eric can know.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a bit about this last year, and it's, as a parent, watching your child develop and learn to communicate with you and with the world, it's beyond words. And so, it's a true testament right here to what this can do for a child's life and confidence and development.
That's why early intervention speech therapy can be a real life changer. But Reach currently has 54 children on its waiting list.
Yeah, and it can last up to 2 years.
But we do have the power to change that. Every gift of $50 provides a child with 1 free speech therapy session.
Yeah, and just 10 sections can make a meaningful difference to a family.
It really can. So, I'm going to challenge you guys. We're going to donate 100 hours. I'm going to ask you guys to step up, be real life superheroes to all the kids in our community, because with your help and our powers combined, help is within reach.
Yeah, it is. Woo! Take it from Kyle Cushing.
There you have it. So that's a great message and a great program that they're promoting there. So I'm glad to play the full video of that and launch announcement here. So yeah, get involved if it's something you can help out with.
Does Michael Bishop have an accent?
He's definitely been obviously living over there, either in the US or Canada for a while, because he doesn't have much of an Aussie accent. But like kind of when he said $50, it kind of gave it away a little bit.
Yeah, I was saying I was detecting a little bit. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he's been living over there for a while, and being a younger person, it's not hard to start picking up the twang of the American or Canadian accent, depending on where he's been living.
Yeah, and he's probably having to do it for the show too. So
Yeah.
keeping that, it's like you got like Christian Bale would walk around with an American accent, and when he's in movies where he has that, so maybe he's method.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, but they do look very much alike, the two of them standing there with with Eric in between them. But yeah, they look more like brothers, I think, than what has been what we saw previous.
Yeah, I'm not like I hate losing the previous John Kent, but if they're gonna replace him, it does look more like a family unit. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, Jordan Elsas obviously is who we're talking
Yes.
about parting the show. Yeah, so there we go. A little bit of a message there from some of the cast members of Superman and Lois. And now this one take with a grain of salt, because I haven't seen any confirmation about this, but SpoilerTV.com, who isn't always the most reliable source, but they reckon that January 18th is the date that season 3 of Superman and Lois premiering for season 3. That's a Wednesday, which seems odd because Superman and Lois has been on Tuesday nights for the most part, and I haven't had any inkling that it was changing nights. January 18th seems a little bit early because we've just seen previously that season 9 of The Flash will premiere on Wednesday, February 8th. So why would Superman and Lois premiere only earlier than The Flash? I don't know, but yes, that's what John Patrick Van Pelt is asking. Do we have an official announcement for season 3 yet? No, we don't, John. So watch this space. Keep an eye on supermanhomepage.com. We'll keep you informed of any official announcement. But there is some whispers January 18th, but I wouldn't really hold anybody to ransom on that one.
Yeah, I always like it closer to my birthday anyways. Or my non-birthday, I guess it is next year.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll keep you posted, but we're hearing it will be 15 episodes for season 3. Don't forget that Chad L. Coleman comes in as Bruno Mannheim, as the head of Intergang, as the main villain, or one of the main villains. You know that Superman and Lois likes to throw us a bit of a curveball sometimes with their villain announcements. So we look forward to seeing. And then, as we know, Michael Bishop steps in as Jonathan Kent, replacing Jordan Elsas as John Kent for season 3. So Jordan Elsas having stepped down for personal reasons.
Yep.
Okay.
And Heath says that he's missing the Superman and Lois tapes. Yeah, I'm missing the show. So it's kind of hard to do a show about a show that's not currently on. Plus, my work existence right now is still a giant mess. So
busy time of the year for you. I mean, anybody who's in retail is heading up to probably the most arduous part of the year.
Yeah, not having a manager for 4 months has been kind of and working
help.
sometimes 70 hours a week has not been fun. But we're not here to listen to me complain about work.
But he still finds time for this show, folks. So that's how dedicated he is.
Yes.
That's why we pay him the big bucks.
It also helps that all I have to do is sit here and talk. To be fair.
Yes. So all right, let's take a look at elsewhere on the television side of things with the Smallville, or some of the Smallville cast members heading out to Steel CityCon this weekend. We've got the cast members, Michael Rosenbaum and Kristen Kruk will be there across all 3 days, December 9th, 10th and 11th. Tom Welling, unfortunately, had to pull out and has cancelled his appearance. This taking place at the Monroeville Convention Center in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. And steelcitycon.com is the website to go to for tickets if you're interested and you're wanting to head to Steel CityCon. But yeah, Tom, I guess, has other stuff has happened for him. I think he's making. Did he make an appearance on was it Titans or?
No, he's going to be in the Winchesters.
The Winchesters. That's where I saw it.
The Supernatural prequel.
Prelude. Yeah, prequel. Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. Smallville cast members Michael Rosenbaum and Kristen Kruk at Steel CityCon. John Patrick Van Pelt asking, do you guys see Superman and Lois ever doing a holiday show theme in the future?
It'd be fun, but they're not on the air during the holidays, so it would be kind of weird to do like a Christmas episode in the middle of April. I think they're in Vancouver at the right time of year to film such a thing. Maybe they'll do like a Hallmark movie, like a Superman and Lois like Christmas movie where one of their friends from high school who went off to the big city and works in an advertising firm, and she comes home and falls in love with one of their rugged neighbors and learns the true meaning of Christmas.
You've just described the plot. Here. No, well, I mean, it sounds great. I think I've watched about 17,000 movies exactly like that.
Yeah, I was in Walmart yesterday, and I went by the electronics section, and they have like all of these Hallmark movies on DVD, and it's literally like the same poster over and over and over again on all the covers, and I'm just like, wow, they're not even trying.
I actually watched one last night with Justin Hartley, who played Green Arrow on Smallville. It's called The Noel Letter, I think it is, and exactly that type of film. But it was still, it brings a tear to your eye. They're always got that tearjerker element to them.
Yeah. But anyway. There's one with John Hames Newton, Dean Cain's been in a bunch of them. Brandon Routh rescued a cat in one. So it's just full of Superman connections.
Yep, 100%. All right, well, last week we didn't get to do our monthly segment, our end of month segment, the Super Secret Sound Byte, because we were with Philip Kennedy Johnson as our special guest. So we're going to jump into that right now. Here is that segment. Here we go.
Only one thing alive with less than 4 legs can hear this frequency, Superman, and that's you.
Yes, where was our super... Well, actually, let me play our Super Secret Soundbite from the one that we played previous. Here it is.
What's that?
One of the surveillance computers. This is Luther. Identify the problem.
Infrared sensors registering movement in out Sector 10.
Show me.
Surveillance camera disabled, sir. Projecting out Sector 10. Heat source now moving away from point 0.
Where is out Sector 10, Lex?
Superman's tomb.
More precisely, 2 meters underneath.
Not that you've listened to that 1,000 times, I'm sure, Michael.
Yeah, I was about to say, when we were talking about this last month, I was just like, it was just like suddenly I'm the Manchurian Candidate. That sound activated me. But no, it came from the BBC radio production. I think over in the UK it was called Superman Doomsday and Beyond.
I've seen that one released, yep.
And in the United States it was Superman Lives.
Okay.
And had a different packaging. And the other thing that I've learned is, if I'm correct, if it's like the Nightfall, it was aired in like 4 or 5 minute chunks. Like daily.
Like a serial.
So that's why sometimes if you're listening to it and it seems like they're pausing at a weird moment, I think that's why. So, no, written and directed by Dirk Maggs.
Yes, and we had a couple of people who guessed where that came from. Who were they?
They were Ryan Ignatius Pratt and Patrick O'Neill.
Well done to those two guys.
I'm kind of surprised more people didn't guess it.
Definitely one you have to hunt out, people. It's I mean, audio dramas just in general, awesome. I actually saw my Facebook memory came up today. 11 years ago today, Michael, we interviewed this gentleman. Let me play it for you. Here we go.
This is James Konachek, the voice of Superman. You're listening to KAL Live.
Yeah, back when we were Radio KAL. Yeah, 11 years ago today.
I was about to say that's a long time ago.
Yeah, so people don't know James Konachek. He does the voice of Superman for a lot of the audio dramas put out by, what was the company?
Graphic Audio.
Graphic Audio, that's it.
And unfortunately, they don't have the license anymore, so they're no longer selling those. And unlike Marvel, who had their own line of productions at Graphic Audio, Marvel owns those, and they just put them on Audible. So I really wish Warner Brothers would do the same. I really wish they would put more of the Dirk Maggs productions as well, especially considering how well Sandman is doing. If any of you out there are listening to Sandman on Audible right now, let's say Dirk Maggs, that same guy, did a Superman 50th anniversary special, a Batman 50th anniversary special. He did a whole series of Superman episodes that are fantastic. And he also adapted The Death and Return of Superman and Nightfall. He also did a Spider-Man one, which is a little weird. But no, it's just the Lex Luthor you heard with, as Steve would probably say, a questionable accent. That is William Hootkins. And if you're like, who's William Hootkins? He's Porkins from Star Wars. He was one of the men that came to visit Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was Munson in Flash Gordon, Lieutenant Eckhart in Batman 89, Harry Howler in Superman 4, and he was Dirk Maggs' Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that was a great Lex
Luthor. Yeah, he did a fantastic job with it. On Audible, the 50th anniversary special is there. It is worth it just for him reading the credits as Lex Luthor. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the way he grumbles certain people's names and things. It's really cool. All right. Well, let's hear our new super secret soundbite for this month. Take a listen.
You could freeze me with your breath. Fast. I've seen you do it 100 times. And then I would look like I was dead.
That's a questionable request. But if you think you know where in the world of Superman that sound comes from, simply head to supermanhomepage.com. Under the contact menu, you will find the super secret soundbite entry form. Click on that, fill it out, and we will read out the names of each person who guesses where in the world of Superman that sound came from in our final episode of this year, which will probably be at this stage, what were we saying, Michael, about the 19th, I think it was?
Around there.
Yeah.
I think that'll be our last one for the year.
Yeah, so get your entries in quick smart, because you've got a couple of weeks before we read out the answer to that super secret soundbite. All right, let's jump into our fan favorite question. Here we go. All right, Michael, what was our fan favorite question from last week?
What is your favorite Superman food item? And Mark Mioto sent us an image, and I think it's really cool that he sent this in. This is the Superpowers cup holder collection, and it seems like he has the actual like stand from Burger King. I remember these. I was really disappointed that I did not get a Superman. I had a Darkseid, but not a Superman. But yeah, it's basically kind of looks very much like the Superpowers figures holding a cup.
Yep.
That was for a limited time at Burger King.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for sending that in. And that was the only one that we had, and that was via Twitter. So thank you, Mark Mioto, for sending that in. Did you have a favorite food item, Michael?
It's interesting. I don't have a whole lot of things associated with food. I have a bag, a clip that you can put on like a bag of chips.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or
to keep them...
whatever, crisps, or whatever you want to call them. But really, I have like a bunch of coffee mugs.
Okay.
But no like plates or bowls or anything like that.
Yeah. What about actual food? Like, we had the peanut butter, we had the hot chocolate.
I think the peanut butter was the best. Unfortunately, the most recent Superman just hasn't had a good luck with cereal. Because the one for
I'll be back. 1 second. Keep going.
Okay. But the one for Batman v Superman was terrible. It tastes like washed out Frankenberries, which that's going to be a very specific reference for people in the audience watching right now. And the most recent one,
is that the one you're talking about?
It's god, that stuff was terrible. It was supposedly caramel, but it really didn't taste like that. And then the most recent one that was the Target exclusive, it was I had a bowl and I had to stop. It was that bad.
Wow.
I just don't think that outside of hot cocoa, Superman has been able to dominate or maybe having Superman peanut butter on your toast or your bagel or whatever. But no, they're I think there were French fries at one point too.
Yep, that's right. We played a commercial, I think, a couple of weeks ago of that crazy. I think I still here. 1 second.
I had a dream had I. I dreamt I was a Superman French fry. And in this dream, I dreamt that I was high in the sky. I cooked up crispy golden brown. I was delicious all around.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wow. I got a contact high just off of that commercial. That was interesting. And like for a while there was like a Superman flavored ice cream. There was like a Batman and a Wonder Woman. The Superman was actually pretty good, if I'm remembering correctly.
And we're not talking about the one that everyone talks about as being Superman ice cream, which was like that red, blue, and yellow one, I guess, or maybe it's white. I'm not sure, but
which, if you use that ice cream to make milkshakes, they come out green. So it's crypto shakes, yes. The things we discover.
This is another one of the items I've got. It's like one of those fruit drinks. Well, I call them fruit drinks, but flavored fruit drink. This one's fantastic berry. It says it's got 25% real juice. So that's a Superman one.
75% real sugar.
Yeah. This one has got a use by date of 1st of December 2004. So I wouldn't be drinking that one.
Yeah, I was about to say that's probably good and fermented right now. You probably get good and souse drinking that.
Yeah. So that's the Superman food items that we've been discussing for the fan favorite segment. But what is our new question for this week, Michael?
It's one we do. I think we've done this before, but it's the holiday season. what is your favorite Superman Christmas decoration?
Yeah, let us know what your favorite. Show us a photo of your favorite Superman Christmas decoration. Everyone's got their trees up now. If you celebrate Christmas, by now you've got it well and truly decorated, and there have been some great Superman decorations over the years. So show us your Superman Christmas decorations. Send an email to info@supermanhomepage.com. That's the email address scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. info@supermanhomepage.com. Send us your favorite Superman Christmas decoration photos, and we will show them when we return to this segment next week. So get involved in the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, Mike, before we jump into the comic book side of things, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to do the This Week in History segment. And then, as I said, comic books. So we're back right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back very soon.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/supermanhomepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
I'm freezing! Superman!
Uh-oh, sounds like Lisa and Scott are trapped in the icy cave of that frosty-faced villain, Captain Cold. This is a job for Superman.
My fast freeze zapper will freeze Superman forever.
No way, Captain. Here, kids, my new Superman Hot Cocoa Mix is the super-tasting way to warm up.
It's really sweet. And chocolatey.
And see, Captain Cold can't take this warm reception. New Superman Hot Cocoa, the super-tasting way to warm up.
And in light of our talking about Superman food and drink items, I have to obviously mention the commercial there for Superman Hot Cocoa that was available once upon a time. We could also have played the Burger King ad. There was the... what else did we have back in the day? We mentioned...
the peanut butter one.
Peanut butter one, yes. So there's been a few things.
Which had great animation.
Yes, it did, yes. So, that's the Superman food items again. All right, let's go into This Week in History. Here is your intro, Mike.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Pretty full roster this week. We started 1952 with Superboy, number 24, and my dog coming into the room. If you were edited by Mort Wessinger, one of the worst things you could be was fat. And this is a good example of that. I don't know why he was obsessed with that, but, everybody has their thing. I'm not here to kink shame. In 1962, we have World's Finest, number 131. Again, what the heck?
We got a theme.
Alrighty. I guess they're balloons. I don't know. Anyways, 1972, we have Justice League of America, number 104, where they're fighting the Shaggy Man, which is kind of a scary concept. I don't know if Bigfoot had started getting traction around this time. We also had Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 129. I don't even know what's going on in this cover.
Serpent in Paradise.
It is a lot, though. I'm just saying.
Yes.
As a surprise feature, because that's what I like to see on my covers. 1982, we had Adventure Comics number 497, which of course had a Legion of Superheroes with Superboy strip in it. This is still the digest version of Adventure Comics. DC Comics presents number 55, where Superman teams up with Airwave. I had this comic when I was a kid. This is one of my, before I really got into Superman comics, and I really liked it. It's a cool team up, because not only do you have Superman and Airwave, you have Superboy and the original Airwave. So it was a really fun story. Justice League of America number 212. This is based on a story that was originally supposed to be one of the Treasury books, but they split it into a couple of issues of Justice League of America, and the first Superman special with a Gil Kane cover. These are weird. If you like kind of trippy Superman stories, those Superman specials are for you. 1992. Okay, so there was no regular Superman books this week. If we had covered it last week, we would have talked about the fact that the Death of Superman trade already came out.
Wow.
But the reason why I brought this up is because this is Who's Who in the DC Universe, Update 1993, number 2, that featured a Who's Who entry, not only for Lex Luthor II, but for Doomsday.
Ooh.
And if you're familiar with the Who's Who format, it has like a lot of text describing the history of the character. Most of the history section is just blank on Doomsday's. It's a really great Tom Grummett piece, but yeah, so that's why I had to mention this. I was kind of shocked that there wasn't a Superman book this week. 2002, I remember this vividly. JLA JSA Virtue and Vice. That was a really good graphic novel. I enjoyed that. We also had Justice League Adventures number 14, Superman number 189, which began a really... This was a weird storyline.
I remember this one.
Yeah, we're getting into kind of a like 2000. When we get into the 2003 books next year, it's going to be a mixed bag, y'all. And Young Justice number 52 came out this week as well, with a kind of Brady Bunch style thing. Okay. In 2012, we had Action Comics number 15. As we're getting closer to the end of the Grant Morrison run, and Smallville Season 11, number 8. I may have picked up the digital trades of those recently when they were on sale, because apparently, according to Comixology, when you're doing a DC on TV sale, all you're going to do is the Smallville trades. Whatever. And the Wedding Deluxe Edition.
Of course.
In the real world, on December 8th, Terry Hatcher, Lois Lane for Lois and Clark, and one of the villains in the second season of Supergirl, was born in 1964. And David Harewood, who was also on Supergirl as John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, was born in 1965. And on December 10th, in 2005, unfortunately, we lost Richard Pryor to a heart attack. And that is this week in history.
Thank you, Michael, for that, taking us way back. We've got Mind the Gap asking, have we any thoughts on the original DC Comics Presents? He says, I've always thought it was a fun comic to go look back on, I guess.
Yeah, it is a fun book. Any of those kind of team up books from that time period, because you had Marvel team up with Spider-Man, Marvel 2-in-1. Though in the first issue it was Marvel 2-on-1, which was a different side of Marvel's publishing schedule, where the Thing would team up with different Marvel heroes. And in DC, you had Brave and the Bold with Batman, and DC Comics Presents. Some of them were just, basic stories. Some were kind of interesting. The best of them were I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. The annuals.
Yep.
Where in the first one you had him teaming up with the Earth 2 Superman. They introduced Superwoman. In the second one, the Kristen Wells Superwoman. There was a really cool Shazam team up in the third one. And then Superwoman came back for the fourth one. So I love that book. I really do.
We've also got a question from Farsender saying, do you remember the limited edition Superman Returns serial? It was Berry, I think. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was Captain Crunch. I think I've got the, here we go. I'm just going to bring it in there. There you go. Limited edition Superman Captain Crunch came out with Superman Returns.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I think it came in a different design as well. So there was actually, here we go. I've got another image that I can probably bring in that might bring some memories for you, Michael. Here we go. I'll just close that off. There's this image.
I remember the Life because I got the Life. I don't remember the Captain Crunch. That's weird.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a couple of images there. Thank you, Farsender, for bringing those to our attention, reminding us about those. Where were we? So we did this week in history. We've done the super secret soundbite. We're catching up, ready to go. Comic books side of things. Let's bring in our regular caller and reviewer for the Superman homepage, Mark Lax. Welcome, Mark. How you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing well, and yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Long day, but glad to be here.
What better way to cap it off than to chat Superman with us?
Exactly.
All right. I want to bring your attention to the story that Clark Kent is coming back. The Secret Identity is being reinstated in Action Comics 1050. You may recall back in December 2019 that Brian Michael Bendis outed Superman.
No, I don't remember.
You've probably blocked it out mentally.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Steve.
Yeah, you don't want to remember is the point. But there's. I'll turn off the background image there. Revealed to the world, Superman came out in a public announcement, did a press conference on the steps of the Daily Planet in a story titled "The Truth," where he told everyone that he felt that he was being disingenuous, keeping the truth from the world, that he was Clark Kent and Clark Kent was Superman, and there ensued a whole bunch of stories about what that meant, how the villains reacted, how his family and friends and other superheroes reacted, and then it kind of got pushed to the wayside when Bendis left. Superman went off-world, didn't have to deal with it. The Kents got bombarded at one stage. Their house was supposed to be kept secret and under some kind of a bubble of secrecy, but that Bendix, I think his name was, found out where they were and attacked them, and that's not a name, that's a coincidental...
the
villain.
He was also bald, I believe.
Yeah, so not that there's anything wrong with being bald,
Look, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I understand what you're saying.
I
get the connotation, but so I don't know how, but they've said that the whole secret identity thing is going to be reinstated in the next issue of Action Comics 1050, I should say. What do we think of this, Michael?
My reaction literally had this thought, and fans of The Office will probably appreciate this. Let's see if I can get it up there.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait. Everybody, calm down.
I lost my mind. Seriously. I was at work, and I always get these things at work. That's the thing. When I'm doing the responsible thing, like checking my social media. And if you worked as much as I have in the past 4 months, you'd be slacking off when you could as well. And my friend Donovan Morgan Grant said, and it was, he tagged me into a post on Facebook and said, "Michael, come back." And it was the article about the secret identity. And I'm like, and I was already coming back. We had talked about that, like with the two of you, actually. You both seemed very surprised. But it really, I was stupid happy about this. I have been long on record that I thought this was one of those boneheaded decisions you can make. I understand, creators got to create. They have an opinion. Brian Michael Bendis is not like secret identities. He's been very open about that. He's even said things like, none of the MCU characters have a secret identity, and this is what the kids today are into with their hula hoops and their Dan Fogelberg records.
Yeah.
And it's just, it is such an integral part of the character. Other character, Tony Stark cannot have a secret identity. It really doesn't impact on who Tony Stark is. But I think characters like Superman and Spider-Man is another good example. Are people that their secret identity is like linked genetically to the character itself.
Yeah, well, Philip Kennedy Johnson last week went on the record as saying, like, the stories they want to tell, really can't be told without the whole Clark Kent thing, and how much he gets a buzz of, seeing that image of Clark Kent ripping open his shirt to fly away and become Superman. So, Mark, what are you thinking about how, like, obviously we're not writers, as in the creative writers, but how do you think that they might go about doing this? Because the can's open, the worms are out.
Well, yeah. I kind of have an idea as to how it's going to be done. I'm not going to give that away. But yeah, I mean, in order to do it, in order to fix Bendis's mess. I'm sorry, the people love Bendis's run, but I don't, as we all know. But in order to fix Bendis's mess, you really had to go big in order to change it. I mean, either it had to be something at the end of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, or something more, and because there was no other way to put it back. So they had to do something, and it's I think it's a very interesting thing that can be done, I guess. But I mean, there's a lot of ways they could do it, but I mean, they're not going to they're not resetting the universe.
No.
So, but I mean, between all this stuff with Dark Crisis Infinite Earths and Flashpoint Beyond and the Golden Age and all this, this other stuff, you would think some things might be tweaked, and I guess certain characters will be tweaked, but they didn't do that with this. They did something. I think they did something else. It's very interesting, and let's just say we want the secret identity back, and we're getting it back, and that's a good thing. So,
and it's going to be interesting because John Kent really hasn't ever had a secret identity as a grown adult superhero. And so it's going to be like he'll be getting a secret identity for the first time, or his identity will be secret for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see how those stories play out. But Philip Kennedy Johnson said in an interview with comicbook.com, some elements of the Lois and Clark dynamic can only be there with a secret identity, and even just on a deep gut down level, something about seeing Clark Kent in the tying glasses again, ripping open his shirt to reveal the S shell underneath, just feels amazing. So it's something that he's obviously feels strong about, as he spoke to us about last week. We're happy to hear that it's back. I think it's an important element of the Superman story, the secret identity. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that, because it's going to be an interesting way of, there's got to be things that have got to fall into place for that to be able to happen.
Yep. He had a lot of, he seemed to really like, I mean, it seems to be in good hands that he's going to be doing this, because it's nice to hear a creator now saying how important it is to have the secret identity and all of that, as opposed to trying to give it. I mean, it's been, the Superman books have been so strange over the past several years. And so it's nice to know that, not just him. It's Tom Taylor and Joshua Williamson, and these are great guys that are taking care of business here. So it's good to hear from the creator how he feels it's important to have the secret identity.
I agree, and he said a lot of things last week that really hit the nail on the head as far as I was concerned. They were really great points that he made. Michael, you were mentioning earlier in the This Week in History how you felt it was strange that there wasn't a Superman comic back in, 1992 at This Week. We don't even have a Superman comic this week. in 2022 because this is what is available this week for comic book readers, and they're kind of the obscure ones. But here we go. We've got, whoops, turn that off. We don't have that. Action Comics 150, by the way, folks, will be out on the 27th of this month. So if you're looking for that Secret Identity Superman story, it will be out in Action Comics 1050 on the 27th of December. But this is what we've got this week. We have, if I can find the right images, I'll turn off Action Comics 150. We have Dark Crisis Warzone #1. It's a one-shot. And I'm assuming Superman and Superman and John do feature in it because they feature on the variant covers, as does Supergirl, as does Connor Kent as well. He looks really weird there, Connor, but we've got a number of variant covers for that. Also out this week, and it's a weird one, but it is set in Metropolis. Monkey Prince #9 is there on the Daily Planet, and the variant cover for this features him cozying up to Supergirl. That's variant cover, and there's also a couple of other variant covers there, him doing a slam dunk. And the one that's behind me at the moment, the background for me, is the Happy Holidays image, is a variant cover for Monkey Prince #9. Only other thing out this week is the Absolute Multiversity hardcover. If you're into the Grant Morrison story, that's what's out this week. So yeah, a bizarre week.
Didn't the Death of Superman Deluxe Edition come out this week?
It was supposed to, but it seems to have been shifted.
Oh, noes.
Yes.
Just quick on Dark Crisis. I mean, look, they have another Crisis, whatever. But what bothers me nowadays, when Crisis on Infinite Earths came out, there were crossovers. I mean, with books, some were really dealt with it. Some had Red Skies, but they were the regular books. So if you didn't want to pick them up, you didn't have to pick them up. But now, these series all have other series and other books that and the thing is, some of them now are very important to read. In order to read the Dark Crisis #6 or something, you have to read one of the Dark Crisis spin-offs to really understand. I hate that they're doing that. I mean, I know they've been doing that for years now. But it's like, we know it doesn't have to be done. We know you can tell a great story, maybe cross over in a couple of, different books, just to, but to spend, to have you spend all that money. I mean, I know how ridiculous it is, but it gets on my nerves. It's not that I don't like Dark Crisis or anything like that. Just tell the story in the story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, if you're going to do it in the Dark Crisis series, do it all in the series. Don't have these spin-offs that become peripheral and then they become important because, you need to know what's going on to be able to read the next issue of the main series. It just becomes ridiculous. So I'm with you. Have tie-ins that show what the characters are dealing with, but on the side, but don't make them essential to the main story.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Mark. Well, it's been great chatting with you tonight. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to your next review with us. I'm not sure what that is at this point in time.
I think. Well, I don't know about comics, but I think I'm finishing up the animated series. So
cool.
I will be doing that soon.
Sounds good. Talk to you then.
All right. Okay, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
That was Mark Lax. Thank you for joining us once again. All right, Michael. On the oddities side of things, this one, I was just walking through a department store here in Australia called Big W. It's just like a discount department store, and just stumbled upon this shelf, and I had to stop and take a photo of it and tell me what you think. But I didn't think much of it at the time, but I thought, I'll share it on social media. Baby meerkats. So they're
it's both cute and horrifying at the same time.
Yeah, they're polyresin statues, so they're meant for outdoor, garden gnome type, things that you put out in your garden. And there's Supergirl, there's Wonder Woman, there's Robin, there's Batman, there's Shazam, and there was Cyborg. No Superman, but nevertheless, I thought, I'll share this on social media, and everyone's like, where do you get them from? I've got to have one. Where do you tell me where they are? And it's like, okay, well, they're only in Australia, and they're, from bigw.com.au, and I did a bit of a search, and that's the only place you can get them. They are licensed. They are official licensed DC merchandise. But yeah, baby meerkats. I didn't realize there was been such a big market for them. They're $12 each, Australian.
Anything that's kind of cute, you're going to get that. A couple years ago, I was in Walmart and they had piggy banks.
Yes.
And they were painted like Superman and Batman. So, which that Batman origin must have been really weird. I'm just saying. So.
Very good. So yeah, if you're interested, bigw.com.au. At $12 each Australian, which is probably like about $8 American.
And now there are some very confused people working in the shipping department of Big W going, why are we getting so many requests for this over in the United States?
There you have it. But something a little bit closer to home for you guys and a little bit more, actually still a little bit weird, depending on your thoughts on Composite Superman. This is the Funko Pop figure, the Entertainment Earth exclusive. This one is available for $13.99 US, exclusive to Entertainment Earth. You can get it through our website as a link there. Half Man of Steel, half Batman, all villain.
Yeah, and his origin is insane because it was a guy working at like a museum that got bathed in energy from a bunch of Legion of Superheroes figurines. So he's got all these weird powers, but he looks like Superman and Batman split in half, but he's composite Superman. I love this, though. I want this. I want this so bad. I think that thing is adorable. I really do.
Yeah, so there's a Funko that you might be interested in. Something a little bit more pricey, but still nevertheless very collectible, is this fine art print by Julian Totino Tedesco. This is from Sideshow Art Prints. They're taking pre-orders for this original DC Comics art print of Superman and Lois up in the sky. It's $95 US and will ship this month in December. And it is available framed or unframed. There's the pencil sketch that he did for it, and there's the colored finished version. He also showed us on Twitter some of the other concept designs that he'd come up with that he played around with as ideas. But ultimately they went with this as the final product. It is limited edition, so there are only 200 pieces, so get in quick if you're interested in that fine art print.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. All right, well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Before we sign off, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Superman Homepage Live for the past hour with us tonight. Thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. Thank you for Mark Lax for joining us as our one of our callers tonight. And thank you to you, my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And thanks to everyone who joined in with the comments there, watching us live tonight. We appreciate your cooperation and participation. All right, well, if you want to watch this show in full, missed part of it, want to catch it all over again, you can do so either via our website, supermanhomepage.com, or our YouTube channel. But Michael and I will be back next week on December 12th, Monday, December 12th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. On behalf of myself and Michael Bailey, thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Bye.